Hello everybody, this is Benjamin Bloom, another championship football vlog, and this is going to be my match experience vlog. Today, again, I'm not going to watch Ipswich, I'm going to watch Ipswich tomorrow because it is Friday the 15th of December and I am off to watch Sheffield Wednesday versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. So it's kind of like a classy fixture when you think about it. You think about how old school those two clubs are, how, you know, pre-war they were like two of the biggest clubs. And I've never been to Hillsborough, which is obviously a very kind of iconic stadium, so I'm really looking forward to going there. I should be going there to watch Ipswich in March, but obviously kind of got there a couple of months ahead. Bit of a impulse decision again. Obviously on Monday I ended up at Reading versus Cardiff. I really enjoyed that. That was a 2-2 draw and Cardiff were 2-0 down with 8 minutes to go. I mean, they deserved their point. But another impulse thing, I'm a music teacher for a living, and literally one by one I was supposed to do, I don't have schoolwork to do today, I was supposed to do 3 jobs, and one by one, last week one of them cancelled, I think like 2 days ago one of them cancelled, and this morning the other one cancelled. So I'm lounging around at home thinking, well, I have now literally got diddly squat to do. What's on? It's a bit of a trek up to Sheffield, but I've been up now. God, Ipswich have played at Barnsley, I went to that. I went to Leeds. I went to Sheffield United away. So I've been up there a few times already. I mean, I live in London now, so the road systems where anything beats travelling from Ipswich. So yeah, it's not that bad a run. It's just, as anyone who's ever travelled from south to north on a Friday will know that it kind of sucks. But yeah, I saw Sheffield Wednesday play a few weeks ago. They heartbreakingly took a point off Ipswich in the 94th minute, literally shoved on Anti-Nui, the 6'8" monster, and Penderson last attack of the game, and took a 2-2 draw. We were a bit unlucky, Ipswich, in that game. So I didn't think Sheffield Wednesday were that great. I think Carvajal, the Sheffield Wednesday manager, if at any point this season, a bit like Norwich and Alex Neil last season, there's going to be a tipping point when it looks like, at any point, whether that's in January or April or whatever, if it looks like they're not going to make the playoffs, I think he's done. So be interesting to see that, and really looking forward to seeing Wolves. They've been taking the piss, quite frankly. They obviously they've signed a few useful players through the association with George Mendes, the kind of mega super agent guy, and they got this guy Bonatini up front who scored a whole ton of goals, Cavaliero, and that really expensive centre midfielder whose name I've forgotten. Sorry, Wolves fans, he's probably going to be absolutely sublime as well, and I'll be all over him later on. But hey, I'm driving, I'm not even a Wolves fan. But yeah, really looking forward to seeing Wolves. They had won, I think, 6 on the trot, and even before then, the championship, Joe Royle, the great Joe Royle, old Ipswich manager, used to kind of point out that draws aren't really worth a lot. And if you look at the Wolves record, yeah, they have lost a few games, but it's been win, 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 loss, win, 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 loss, win, 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 loss, you know. But they drew against Sunderland in their last game. So, I mean, sometimes with teams, once like a winning streak goes, they kind of relax a bit and go on another one. Anyway, so they had a draw against Sunderland and they're away today. And it is a little bit of a spying mission because next Saturday, Ipswich Town are away at Wolves. In my capacity as an Ipswich Town vlogger, I will be at that game. So a bit of a spying mission. We'll see if Wolves are in any way fallible. They haven't looked at, they're way out front. I think they've got 48 points already, which is absurd. And Cardiff are chasing them, but they look, you know, I think they're on like 2.2 or 2.3 points per game. Wolves could probably coast the second half of the season on 1.5 points per game and get promoted. I'll have to do the maths. Pretty much win one, lose one. They could do the rest of the season and still go up. So they've had an amazing start, and looking forward to that. Ipswich got Reading tomorrow, so I'll be at that game. It's all a big muddle seeing the away teams, the opposing teams rather, twice a week. But looking forward to it. I'm on the A1 now. Anyone who's watched my match vlogs knows when I go up north, I pretty much always end up in that Meadow Hall shopping centre in TGI Fridays. So percentage chance of that is probably quite high. I'm better prepared, I'm getting experience now. Do you know what I'm going to do? I've got some equipment in the back of the car, and I have like a blanket underneath, keeping the bottom of my car kind of, you know, nice and pristine, I hope. So, God, I had to shave earlier, and you know when you just get the, just feel the bits. By the way, I'm not wearing sunglasses to try and be some cool ass guy. I mean, I always think that's kind of the lamest attempt at being cool anyway, sunglasses. These are like Primark £4 sunglasses, but it is genuinely quite bright. And this will be the only part of this video I'll probably be able to do without my whole load of lights that I have to point at my face. This is the best one, look at that one, okay? So you can actually see me. I've gone off on a right digression. Yeah, I'm on the A1. Probably above 30% chance I'll end up in TGI Fridays in Meadow Hall. So looking forward to the game. Hopefully it's not some drab 0-0. Unlikely, although Sheffield Wednesday can be quite sort of stiff and pragmatic, but Wolves are going to save the day, hopefully. Yeah, their last game was 0-0. Anyway, I'm going to forage my way up the A1M. It's probably going to be dark fairly soon. What time is it? 1:30. I reckon it'll be dark by 3:30, 4 o'clock. So, yeah, about to pass Nebworth. Probably 120 miles to go. Do you know what? I might listen to a Wolves podcast or a Sheffield Wednesday podcast, or I'm probably going to end up listening to the Football Ramble again. They're doing their 12 days of... check out the Football Ramble if you watch this. You probably know all about it anyway. But, yeah, onward with the entertainment. I'm going to crack open the first... How rock and roll is that? The first Coke Zero, which has been in my car all night and is probably nearly frozen. And, yeah, massive load of waffle. Onward. Shut up, Ben. Wow. So I decided to stop at Peterborough Services, and a little bit of a disaster, to be honest. So I came off to stop originally, and there was a massive queue up over that way, and I thought, well, screw this, it was probably going to be absolutely rammed in there, take me ages to get on there. So I thought I'll quickly pull out of that line, but in pulling out of that line, it sent me towards Peterborough instead. So I go up that road for a mile, turn around, come back down, and then I've got pretty much a straight run into the services. So I'm like, well, I may as well go to the services now. So I took a ridiculous 2-mile detour to avoid a queue. Some people do have the logic though that they'd rather actually be driving than queuing, so I kept driving, that was all right. So significantly now the chances of me getting a TGI Fridays or a Nando's or something have slimmed, because I went for an El Mexicana. There it is in there going down, which is quite nice. It's all fairly fresh, some decent vegetarian type stuff. It's a bit, I got myself some Tic Tacs, and I filled up, but took longer than I wanted. So back onto the A1 now, on we go. I just finished listening to the Wolves Fancast as well, which was a very good listen, great podcast. I've chatted with them in DMs before about some bits and bobs, and they gave us the heads up on Dominic Iorfa for our podcast. So respect to those guys. But it was fascinating how things kind of change with football fans. So last season they were pretty bad, and they were down near Ipswich. I suppose they must have finished above us in the end, because everyone below us were pretty bloody terrible in the relegation thing on that last day. But the Wolves fancast was discussing things like how they needed to strengthen their team in the transfer window, and how teams were coming to Molineux and sort of setting up very, very defensively, and that this was a problem. So how things have changed for Wolves. Obviously they mentioned Ruben Neves several hundred times, so that was the guy's name I'd forgotten. So I've got a bit of a heads up on Wolves now. I think I'll listen to the Wednesday week podcast now for the next part of my journey, although I know more about Sheffield Wednesday than I know about Wolves, having seen them very recently. But obviously always good to get a fan's eye view on that. And it's just started to rain. It's ridiculous. It's like Peterborough, that's the split between the north and the south. You literally drive past Peterborough and here comes the rain. In other news, really annoyingly, I heard a tiny little bang earlier in the journey. Completely bad luck. I've obviously got a loose chip and it's right slap bang in the middle, so that looks like a bloody MOT failure there. I don't know. Hopefully my all singing, all dancing, excellent VW plan will get me over that. But anyway, I'm going to listen to some stuff about Sheffield Wednesday, and it's probably going to be dark by the time you hear from me again. I need to digest this bloody El Mexicana, which was very nice, by the way. But onward. So I've made it to the Meadowhall Centre, as I always end up in at Sheffield. It is just gone 5 o'clock. I'm not hungry. There's like every restaurant under the sun, and then I'm going to be sat in the football for a few hours. So I don't know, this is going to be a difficult tactical call. What I'm going to try and do, I'm going to try and do some Christmas shopping. Obviously I'm not going to be able to show you what it is in case any of my family members, and probably don't watch it, because that's who I'd be buying for. But what are you peeping at? So I'm going to go into Meadowhall, not far from Hillsborough. The other thing I've got to do again, why are you beeping at me? I'm going to go and find my ticket, because I only ordered it this morning. So you always have that little one element in your head that's saying, God, imagine I travelled all the way up here and they don't give me my ticket. What would happen? What would happen then? Anyway, I'm going to get my coat on. I'm going to go into the Meadowhall, and there is now less than a 15% chance of me ending up in TGI Fridays. Let's see what happens. Okay, that is Meadowhall done. I ate absolutely nothing, which is good. I bought one Christmas present. I'm a man, so that is good work. Of all the strangest things in all the world, I saw an Ipswich Town player in that shopping centre. You can probably figure out who it was. It's Friday night, we're in Sheffield. I saw Ipswich Town loanee Kiefer Moore inside the Meadowhall shopping centre in Sheffield. I said, hello, I'm an Ipswich fan, can we have a photo? I look pretty terrible in the photo because he's like 6'9" and I'm 5'8". I said, are you coming back? And he said, yeah. I said, good luck. And then he pretty much like walked away from me as if to say, look, we're done talking, you've had your moment. But thank you, Kiefer, for giving me the time of day and taking a photo. And what a small world. I'm going to attempt to find the car park I'm booked in and head to the ground now, hopefully for some team news very, very soon. Onward. Yes, we found the car park and got parked, and the teams are in, so I just need to go and find my ticket. Don't know who Wildsmith is, the Sheffield Wednesday goalkeeper. He must be a reserve. And Van Aken did not play against Ipswich either, I'm pretty sure. They look like a straight 4-4-2. Interested to see this Wolves 3-4-3. Actually interested to see a game without either team playing 4-2-3-1. The front five for Wolves, Saiz, Neves in midfield, and then Yotted, Cavaliero, Bonatini up front. Looks really good, so hopefully we get goals. Bring on the 0-0 draw now. Onwards!
50-50 tickets!
Wow, I've been sent from one stand to the south stand to reception back to the ticket office. I'm now going back to the collection point. If I make the kick-off, I'll be very surprised. Sort your steward in there. Well, there we go. I am on the way home. I am out of Sheffield. I am out of Hillsborough. I have done my long form video, which you can see, my match review on this channel, elsewhere. And as you can probably tell by my inability to speak, I've just eaten a lovely portion of chips as well. I did the worst thing as well. I did the most patronising thing. I said to the lady, being a southerner up north, I said to the lady, "Can I have a serviette, please?" And she said, "We don't do serviettes." And I said back to her, "Oh, we don't do serviettes," in that voice. Awfully patronising, so I do apologise to anybody from the north. Anyway, that was a reasonably interesting game. I got the runaround before the game, as you've probably seen from my footage. So I walk up behind it was the cop at Sheffield Wednesday, and I speak to a steward and I say, "Right, I've bought a ticket online for the South Stand, where do I get it from?" "Oh, right, you need to go round, all the way round past the South Stand, and you get it from there." "Fine." Walk that way. Get up to what looks like a reception, so I pop into the reception and say, "Look, I'm probably in the wrong place, but I need a ticket for the South Stand. Where do I go?" The guy says, "Oh, you need to get the ticket office." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, where's the ticket office?" "All the way back round, all the way the other side of the ground." So I'm like, "Oh, that bloody imbecile who told me to go the other way." So I walk all the way round, literally opposite side of the ground. It's fairly all right getting around Hillsborough. Some grounds, it takes about 10 minutes to walk around them, doesn't it? So I get around the other side, big ticket office, big club shop, queue up, get to the front. "Oh, did you buy your ticket today?" "They've all gone to the collection points." "Oh, right. Where's the collection point?" "Oh, that's at the South Stand." So the guy who I was actually annoyed with had actually told me the right place, and I'd messed it up. So I stomped round to the other side. I can't find gate 6 collection point for love nor money. So I'm a bit exasperated now. I go to the steward, "Look, you need to tell me where gate 6. I've gone from here to there." And he's like, "Don't worry, mate, don't worry." He says, "You can't miss it, just go back up there, round past the metal shutters." Okay, up I go. And it turns out that gate 6 collection point is literally like a post box on a wall with 4 stewards in front of it, in front of the away fans, where they're all going in. So maybe Sheffield Wednesday could do a little something about that. I don't know how many online tickets they sell on a match day, but they must sell a fair amount. People who didn't know that they could go until the day and still want to guarantee a seat. So there you go. But anyway, got in there. I had a good seat. Strange thing, there was all these padded seats in front of me. Looked like they weren't selling any of them. Looked like kind of executive seats. Whether they just weren't used because it was a Sky game or a Friday or what have you. Who knows? Whoa, my sat-nav's talking to me. So yeah, nice good view in the South Stand there in Hillsborough. Had a nice row of presumably season ticket holders, fairly exasperated from about the 15th minute near me, so that was interesting to hear their take on it, although I did get the normal kick it, forward, terrible, that type of commentary, so yeah, read into that what you will. Hillsborough is an amazing kind of iconic stadium. I was there for the first time. Yes, I'm going to go to the left after 1,200
towards Weds.
I can't quiet that down either. I know where I'm going as well. There we go. Anyway, yeah, as I was saying, really excited to be at Hillsborough for the first time. Great ground. Reminds me a bit like Aston Villa, this kind of massive, old school, sprawling stadium, you know. It's got kind of class about it. And another thing that's got class about it is Wolves. Wolves team. They were very, very good indeed. And Wednesday were a little bit of a mess, and it was one confident team against a completely unconfident team, if that's a word. And once they got the goal, they had him at arm's length. Wednesday had a guy sent off. towards the end, and that was all she wrote. He says, talking over his damn sat nav. Actually, can I shut that off? There you go, I can shut that off. So yeah, enjoyed the game, got back to the car, did the video. Now I've eaten my chips. I thought, look, I haven't been well, so I need to just get something ASAP. So first thing I saw that was going to be vaguely hot, I went into a Sheffield chip shop and said, you got anything vegetarian? And she just laughed a bit and went, chips. So there we go, got all that sorted. I'm now on the way. I'm not going back to London, I'm going to Ipswich, ready for their game against Reading tomorrow. So it's going to be quite a late one. It's gone 10:30, you know, when you mess around uploading your video and all of that stuff, takes a little bit of time. So probably time for a few updates on the way home, but I'm still fairly hyped from watching the game in a way. We'll get a good podcast on or some music or something like that, and we'll kill the journey home. I expect to be back in Ipswich around sort of 1 AM, probably do one stop I reckon, and away we go. So as I say at the end of all these little segments, onwards. So apparently I'm not getting home at 1 AM at all. I'm getting home at 2 AM, which frankly sucks. I guess the A14's closed for some reason. I've looked on my phone and on Waze, and I've looked on the sat nav, and it's sending me down roads I literally don't know. I've done a lot of travelling in my career as a musician and as a football supporter as well, and I don't know which way I'm going. A46 or something. It looks like I'm going every which way but to avoid the A14. So I don't know whether it's closed all night, but I'm in it for the long haul really. I should have gone back to London, shouldn't I? There we go, we're going for it now. But what are you gonna do, hey? What are you gonna do when the main route to where you're headed ain't open? Or hey, it could unblock, couldn't it? And then I hope that Waze just gets a grip, because that's an extra hour as well. That really sucks. There we go. I shouldn't moan too much, but hey ho. Back to my podcasts. Wow, I've made it back to Ipswich. It's 1:45 AM. Obviously the A14 was closed for some reason, so I have literally gone from Sheffield like all the way round bloody Norfolk, I guess, King's Lynn, through to Diss, that way. I trust my trusty sat nav that it sent me the right way, but hey, it's been a long match experience. I'm, as usual, bloody tired. I'm going to get some sleep, and then probably the next thing I'll do is start the match experience video for Ipswich versus Reading tomorrow. So great to finally go to Hillsborough. Been a football fan for years and years and never been, so that was good. Nice to see this Wolves team of this year. They're probably going to be champions, so good to see them in a good moment, having a win there. Not sure what's going to happen to Sheffield Wednesday. They're not in a good moment, let's just say. But I'll switch my attention tomorrow to my own team, Ipswich. Let me know what you think in the comments of this video, if you're a Sheffield Wednesday fan or a Wolves fan particularly. I'm going to go in and get some sleep. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at Benjamin Bloom, and for more Ipswich related content, listen to the Blue Monday podcast. Subscribe on Acast or iTunes. Time to shut off all the lights. Good night.